Hi everyone. So a bit of an update and change here at Cabinford. You can see, obviously last time round I did the point rodding video, and I think it looks really great in there. And I've since added this chinchilla sand stuff. I have a bag of it somewhere. There we go. See if I can get to it. So this is just the Friends Farm stuff, not sponsored or anything, but it's just the bathing sand for chinchillas and small rodents. And it works quite well. I think I saw this. I think the credit probably goes to New Junction, who put me in touch with it. Sorry for my rubbish video there. I had to try and get the bag back. Yeah, who sort of recommended looking into it. And to be honest, I think it looks great. I mean, this is the scene over here. You know, you wouldn't tell that's not standard ballast really. So I quite like it. It's quite good to work with. The only thing you do need to be careful of is because it is really fine, you've obviously got the problem where the surface tension needs to be broken. So hence, and actually you can see here, I originally used IPA to do the ballast sort of bath at the start, but it sort of started staining everything. And although that probably will paint out quite nicely, I then sort of went back to what I know, which is the water and washing up liquid, clear washing up liquid. So notice that's clear, because otherwise you get a weird tint on the ballast when it's setting. And then yeah, just a mix of, again, a bit of washing up liquid dropped into I think this is PVA, I think it is, or it's either that or it's Mod Podge matte, so whichever. But yeah, you can see that I've done now up to this bit on the point. I will probably do a little bit more of this point, sort of up. Yeah, maybe I'll just finish that now actually. Yeah, because otherwise I'm leaving a massive bit undone. It's just with points you need to be really delicate about how you do it. So I'll probably wait until all this sets off and then fill in the ballast in the gaps here. And you obviously don't want any liquid to fall into the actual point motor itself. So I have tested, so I have done this one in full down here, and some water looked like it went down, so I have plugged all my electrics in and checked that point motor is still firing, and it is at the moment. Whilst I was here as well, just a bit of a tip for anybody that's daft enough to do what I did on the insulation foam, which isn't then level, as in side to side level, and front to back. I've actually just tested this here, so I've actually now leveled this out here, lovely, and you hopefully notice that the dip has gone as well. So what I basically did was got my clamps and pulled up the track in this area here, because previously there's a big dip here, and it does still dip over here down. You can kind of make that out between these two rails. I really don't know why that is. So obviously got to do something with how I put it down, the cork down. I don't know, maybe there's like a lip in the cork here or something, I don't know. But here is not as bad because it's a bit of a smoother slope. But here, where am I? Going back. So yeah, so here there was a dip down, and because it was such a kind of obvious dip, what was happening is a lot of the locos, especially the 040s and 060s, they were sort of stopping or stuttering at that point. So I have corrected that, and hopefully that will stay okay. And obviously did the front to back level whilst I was there as well. So hopefully that actually dries in place. And yeah, I'm not sort of very particular with how I do the ballast. I mean, basically I put the ballast down. I actually use an old pot that's used for usually used for filling an iron with water, but I now use that, and I just basically put it in and then drag it along. It works absolutely fine. I then get my finger and sort of push it in between all the gaps, and you can see there is quite a lot of well, actually what happens is as you start putting down the water and washing up liquid mix, it sort of does tend to pull, and so you do get a bit like that. So I will go along probably afterwards and loosen up some of these pieces anyway. But to be honest, I actually quite like that effect, because if you go out there on the real heritage lines and stuff these days, you do see it's not as sort of picture perfect as people when they build models make out. You tend to see it all sort of pristine and stuff with no stones on the sleepers, which just isn't the case. You know, and I know people say that the trains running along will dislodge them, but it obviously doesn't, because you always see it. So yeah, I'm not too pedantic about it. I think it looks kind of good like that, and being a little bit untidy. So that's just how I think. So if anybody's offended by that, I apologise, but that's just what I think. Yeah, so I'll finish off that point. This station is then done. I've levelled off here. I can start thinking about my buildings here again. And just a reminder, previous years of the card one in here, it'll probably go back for a little bit of time. And I'm going to scratch build the Medstead building that I've done the measurements for. So I'm looking forward to my first scratch build at some stage. But I will probably actually continue on and do the rest of this ballast around here and just get that all set. And I will likely leave Shelfington over here, the big one. I'll probably leave that without any ballast for a while, because obviously I want to do the point rodding on that one, which is going to take me a hell of a time to sort that out. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the next mission. I'm pretty happy with the scene still. It's looking pretty good. Just got to do some more trees and things on the embankment over there. I'll at some point need to think about what I'm going to do with this embankment, and this is going to be more sort of like a forested embankment. So we won't even be able to see it from here. It'll just be a house that you can see, and kind of the trains go away as if they're going into a tunnel. Yeah, so that's where I am at the moment. As you can see, my hanging basket liner grass on here was in progress, but then I suddenly realised that I hadn't done the ballast yet, so I tried pulling that up, and some of it came off and some of it didn't, and then I kind of couldn't be bothered and gave up halfway through. So I'll give that a bit of a clip down with some hair clippers to sort of like 1 or 2 mils, and kind of start that again at some point. What I was thinking about doing was kind of making this you know, like one of these stations where they kind of use it to put the name of the station or something. I don't know. I'll have some thoughts about that at some point, I would have thought. Yes, so that's it. Nothing else to report really. All tested, all working okay. Once this is done, probably give it a bit of a clean, and I'll probably start running some locos just to check everything's working okay. Right, so yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Cheers for watching. Bye.